Hang on a second. Is this what I think it is? Is this a sweet treat video?
No, Anthony, this isn't a sweet treat video. This is the intro to my new podcast.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my podcast. How are you guys? I've missed ya. I don't know if you know, I'm looking a little bit wandy. There's nothing healthy about a tan except for mental health. I'll never promote people tanning, but for me personally, getting in the sun, I will never promote tanning, and I'm not promoting it right now. But me getting in the sun and sitting in the sun with sunscreen on, with zinc on, and just like feeling your body absorb the sun is actually what life is about for me. Honestly, life is about nothing else but that. I don't know, there's no better feeling. Love, sex, getting in the sun. And I will say, having a little bit of colour does make me feel good. I think it's because of my genes. I'm Greek, and I think naturally we're meant to be a little bit darker of the skin. I don't know if that's politically incorrect to say. If it is, I apologise to the appropriate people. If it's not. What else did I have to say? I've got a lot of drama today, okay? Updates on that whole drama episode, but I'm going to talk about some other stuff first. I'll get to that. Just hold on, please. Please hold on. Please hold on to what we've got together. Yeah, so I'm going to talk about, I don't know if you could tell, I got some sun. I went to Fiji. What a beautiful place on earth Fiji is. Let me have a sip of water. Also shout out to this brand, Ulta. They sent me some sparkling waters. Very kind of them. Strawberry lemon flavour. 16 calories. Not that we calorie count. Jeez, I'm really hitting all the politically incorrect points today, aren't I? Right, so, and also, I don't know if you can notice I'm wearing something nice for the first time in the podcast. Yeah, that's right, your boy can dress up. Sorry, I'm ADHDing, but that usually makes for the best podcast. Okay, so, Fiji, let's talk about it. Had the most amazing time. I went with my beautiful friend Alicia and her family. Beautiful family. Shout out Zoe. She kept on asking me to give her a shout out last night because I went to their house for dinner. Shout out Zoe and Jack. Very lovely people. Evan, Pete, very lovely people. Had an amazing time. Kind of fucked up. They kind of wouldn't let me pay for anything while I was there. Beautiful thing to do, but kind of fucked up. So I had to get them a little gift to say thank you. But nonetheless, the most beautiful little holiday. I went for essentially a week, a little bit less than a week. And can I tell you something? I did nothing. The entire 6 days that I was there, I actually did nothing. My busy day consisted of reading. What? That's busy? I know. The things you do when you're on holiday in Fiji. The people there, the vibe there, it's chill. It's like you just do what you got to do, girl. You don't have to hustle, bustle. Here it's like 9 to 5. Do 9 to 5. If you don't do a 9 to 5, people laugh at me. Well, at the end of the day, I'm making more money. Don't say that. Don't say that, you cheeky little frickin' schnitzel. No. Yeah, I think society here is just a little bit fucked, and we can all acknowledge that, and we can all respect it. Obviously, I'm sure countries like Fiji have their problems, have their downfalls, but like when I just tell you the people were so beautiful and kind, I don't know, obviously the ins and outs, but the way they spoke to me and how they spoke about their lives, they seemed happy, they seemed appreciative of their lifestyle. Which was a simple one. You know, it was one where they're not constantly trying to outdo each other. They're not constantly trying to, oh, well, I went on this holiday. Well, I went here. Well, I went, well, I just did this. Oh, well, I just did that. They're just like, oh, I love my family. Oh, I love life. Oh, I love this. And it's like, you're beautiful. You know what I mean? Like, just pretty incredible. Honestly, I'm not even joking. The people there were so sweet. So one thing that's really funny about me is when I go for a walk, when I drive, I like to say hello to people. I'm like, hi, how are you? Hi. And a lot of the time in Melbourne, I get ignored. It's fine. It is what it is. I've accepted that that's the case when you live in a big city. People think it's odd when you say hello to them, but I like to still say hello. I'm not saying hello to them so that they validate my emotions. I'm saying hello to them because I like community and I like to make people feel like they've got community. So if they ignore me, that's fine. I don't care, whatever. However, in Fiji, it was literally my dream because I could say hello to anyone and everyone was saying goodbye, even the holiday goers, because it was regular in their society to say hello. So that was the most beautiful thing ever. the food where we stayed at the Sheraton Hotel. Shout out the Sheraton Marriott Hotel, I think it's called, in Denero Island. I think that's how you pronounce it. I'm not sure. I am uncultured. I am a swine. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. Beautiful food. The restaurant surrounding. Oh my God, incredible. I went for a little walk every single morning. That was about an hour long to the port and back. Oh my God. It was just the happiest time of my life. 30 degrees every single day. Sunny and cloudy. I didn't mind the clouds. The clouds made me happy. You know what I mean? We had a little bit of rain. It was nice. I like to hear the pitter patter on my little tin roof as I'm sleeping. That's what I wanted to hear. You know what I mean? But yeah, all in all, what a beautiful holiday. 10 out of 10. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to share from that holiday with you guys. I think there is. I had some revelations over there. I had some revelations that a lot of the stuff that we get so pent up about in Melbourne doesn't matter. You know? For example, career. I'm constantly thinking about my career. How can I further my career? How can I this? How can I that? Chill, motherfucker, let it happen. Chill, motherfucker, let it happen. And you know what the truth of the matter is? Nothing I have ever planned has worked out, especially with career. Nothing I have ever... Replay that. Nothing I have ever planned has actually worked out for me. It's only things that have happened to fall into my lap, or I have tried and they worked out, as opposed to me being like, I'm gonna be a vet. Didn't work out. I need to become a psychologist. Didn't work out. I need to be a lawyer. Didn't work out. I need to be with this person. Didn't work out. That's another topic I will talk about at some point. We'll be talking about Jerry. Jerry is always going to make a mention. He's made a mention in every single fucking podcast, which is crazy to me. But I feel like I need to properly address it. Okay, what other realizations did I have? Do you know what else I realized? I realized that I'm actually not ADHD. Oh, I am. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm very go, but I realized it's my society that's induced that. It's my environment that's induced that. Put that on a t-shirt. That was really, really poetic, wasn't it? It's not me. It's not like... What I mean by that is when I was in Fiji, I was relaxing. I didn't have to be going 100 miles an hour. I woke up every morning, read for an hour, then went down to breakfast, then we rested by the pool for 3 hours. Then what did we do next? Then sometimes we did a water activity, sometimes we didn't. Sometimes all we did the entire day was go for a walk and then sit by the pool the entire day. We had our breakfast, our lunch, our dinner. That was some of the days. That's all we did. And I was so fun. I was happy. I was peaceful doing that. If I did that here, I would die. I cannot stop moving here. If I'm sitting down for 30 minutes here, I'm itching because I'm like, I've got to do something. Our environment is inducing ADHD. Hey, government, why don't you get on top of that? Why don't you get on top of that, government, Mr. and Mrs. Government, and MX for the they, them governments? So that's the realizations. Flaws of the holiday. Were there any flaws of the holiday? Okay, I can't decide whether this is whether I like this or I don't like this. Alicia's gonna laugh at this. So my friend Alicia, because we were staying in the same room, she was naked quite a lot, right? Which is fine. I like it. I don't mind. But I couldn't decide whether I was uncomfortable with it or whether I wasn't. I couldn't decide whether I'm very glad that she felt comfortable enough to be like that around me, just like she would her other girlfriends, right? Or if I was like, maybe put your chimichangas away for a minute. You know what I mean? I can't decide because on one hand I was like, ugh, Antichrist, I don't want to see boobs and vagina. You know what I mean? It's just not on my repertoire of things I want to see. But then on the other hand, I was like, I love the fact that she is treating me like she would treat any other one of her girlfriends. You know what I mean? Any other one of her. You know what I mean? Like, I love the fact that she's seeing me as a friend, not as her gay friend or not as her guy friend. That was really good. Yeah, that was really good. I like the way I worded that. That was exactly how I wanted to word it. You know what I mean? But yeah, I couldn't figure that out. And that wasn't a flaw. I mean, I'm trying to think anything else. Honestly, I mean, the flight there and back, always a flaw. I hate fucking flying. I think the next flight I do that's longer than 2 hours, I'm just going to Valium the fuck up. Give me that Valium. Give me. So that's that. And I think we can put a close to Fiji and we can get on to the important stuff that you all want to hear, which is, drumroll, the update to the drama situation. Now, I just want to preface this episode, I'm finally being honest. I'm finally telling the truth. all of it. You know what I mean? I'm finally gonna unleash. Long story short, I've used her name previously in the podcast. I'm not going to use that now. I've realized it's disrespectful. But there was another girl involved in the drama. Remember, there was Jenny, there was Liz, and there was Ali. That's what I've called them. We're going to call this girl Felicity. Okay? We've also got Felicity, right? Now, Felicity is someone who was not very much involved in the drama at all. I think I was probably the only one that did involve her. I love Felicity very much. Out of this group of 4, I love Felicity and Jenny, right? Liz I became close with recently, but we hadn't known each other for all that long. Ali, I'd caught up with once one-on-one. Ali and I were not that close. Ali to me is honestly the devil. I'm not even joking. Ali, if you're watching this, which you probably are, because I've recently come to learn that you guys are watching and listening to these, you are a bad person. I'm just going to put that out there, and I'm not judging you for that. I'm not anything, but every single person I know that's met you, every single person says you are cursed. You have cursed energy, right? Now, don't get me wrong, Ali has a lot of positive traits, or a couple. She is extremely funny. She can be kind. I think that's about it, if I'm being honest. Now, I say this all not to be mean. I'm not about being mean, you guys know this, but at the end of the day, not that I've been pushed to my limits, but I've realized, that's another thing I think I realized in Fiji. I can practice empathy and practice kindness and practice being a good person whilst also expressing my truth, whilst also expressing what's an objective opinion. I do not have to hide the truth about anyone anymore, and I will not be doing it. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's that. So Ali, I don't really have that much of a connection with, although I do appreciate. Whereas Felicity and Jenny, I do have more one. So let's get on to the proper story. I have been seeing Felicity all around. I've been driving and seeing Felicity walking. Each time I pull over and I say, "Hey Felicity, how are you?" She's really kind back. "Hey, I'm good, how are you?" Yada, yada, yada. One of the times I said we need to go for a catch up, right? Yesterday or 2 days ago, I see Felicity again. I pull over, I go, "Hi Felicity, how are you?" Good, how are you? I go, "All right, this is enough. We've seen each other 4 times now, like 3 times, 4 times. We definitely need to catch up. We need to go for a walk." "Yeah, 100%. I said, "I really miss you." She goes, "I miss you too." Right? Now, up until this point, Felicity and I were very, very close. Now, I think the drama situation happened maybe about 8 weeks ago. You guys are a little bit lagged behind, whereas you won't be when this comes out, right? Happened about 8 weeks ago, or maybe 10 weeks ago, right? I hadn't heard from Felicity once during that entire time. Yes, there were the times that these people are from my work. I'm just going to say it. These people were where I worked. I don't work there anymore, right? So I saw these people every single day. These were some of my closest friends. Felicity and Jenny, whether they would call me it or not, they were my best friends, right? They were some of my best friends. Definitely Jenny. And Felicity, I considered you a best friend as well. Again, I'm addressing Felicity because I'm pretty confident saying she watches these. Okay. So, Felicity, I would have expected, because she wasn't really involved in the drama, would have reached out to me when I had that fight with Jenny and Ali, right? Didn't reach out to me. Was I upset? 1000%. Did I get angry at her? 100%. Do I still think she should have reached out? 100%. 100%. There is no reason why she shouldn't have reached out. Even if Jenny or Ali had maybe said something to her that I may or may not have said, she should have still reached out, right? I did reach out to her the day or day after the drama was happening, and I got no response. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Also, when I had seen her at work multiple times, I had deliberately been very kind and very friendly, and I also had said to her, "Can we please go for a walk soon?" Okay, so I had done my part. I will say that I think my ego stopped me from messaging and saying, "Hey, can we go for a walk?" I will say that my ego did that, but at the same time, I didn't want to get rejected. I think I had reached out after the incident happened. I think I had said when we were working together, "Hey, can we go for a walk?" I think I had gone into that situation with so much kindness and so much openness to treat them well, because I do love these people, you got to remember. and they hadn't given me back that same energy. They were quite harsh with their energy and quite hi, the entire day, which is fine. I understand. I'm not gonna pick on them for how they deal with their emotions. That's none of my business. I will not. However, I will stand by the fact that I think I treated them kindly, especially during this situation, right? So I messaged Felicity yesterday saying, all right, when are we doing our walk? Essentially, that's what I messaged her, right? Because I've seen her so much. I said, when are you free over the next 2 weeks? This is the message I get back. And I want to say, no, you know what? I'm just going to read it and then I'll go. Hey, Anth. So I did want to speak to you about the whole situation that's happened with everything and why I didn't reach out. All the other stuff that happened with the other girls aside, I was really hurt when I found out that not only had you said things. And like I said, I'm just going to read this all and then I'm going to address the points separately. Not only had you said things like you wouldn't be friends with me if it wasn't for work, but also that you were going to release a podcast episode where you spoke about me negatively and used my name. I understand why you were upset with me because constantly cancelling is so frustrating and it does make the other person feel like you don't want to see them. I think I am just more upset that you had spoken about it on the podcast rather than speak about it privately. People also sent me the last podcast episode where you called me nasty for not reaching out. Sorry, that made me laugh. When in reality I hadn't, because I thought you knew something. I thought you knew speaking about me on the podcast would upset me. I really want us to be amicable, and by all means, I completely understand I'm not innocent in all of this, and my actions were really hurtful towards you. I also understand things are said out of anger and hurt, as I'm a victim of doing this as well. But hearing what you said about me broadcasted to the world really hurt my feelings. Okay, I'll read you my response, and then I will address each thing further. OMG dude, this is what I said. OMG dude, I am so sorry. The first part about me saying I wouldn't be friends with you if it wasn't for work without disregarding accountability in any way, the context I remember saying that in was me being scared that you wouldn't reciprocate my love for you or my effort. Not that I didn't want to be friends with you. I love you. I'm so sorry that however it's come to you, that something I've said has made you feel anything other than happy. The second part, the podcast. Honestly, the part about the beach house, because this is what I spoke about on the podcast about. The part about the beach house, I really did not think you would be upset about because that's 100% my bad. I'm an idiot. I think I forget sometimes that not everyone is okay to talk and be talked about so publicly. And I'm going to be honest, up until that message, I did not even think that you would have any opinions on that. And that's just me being ignorant and silly again, and I'm sorry. Next in the podcast, where I've called you nasty, I'll be honest, I haven't even watched that episode yet because I was pretty upset and angry, so I again apologize for that. Again, it's me being ignorant and just sharing things online that I feel in the moment without a thought. There are a couple more things I want to say. Throughout the whole drama, I genuinely am so proud of how I have handled myself. The only thing I genuinely regret is bringing your name into it, as you were totally not involved. I think I was angry because of the beach trip situation, which pretty much was her cancelling on the beach trip for the 5th time, which is fine. And so I just included you in the drama where your name did not need to be mentioned, and again, I am so sorry. Next thing I want to let you know, again, without throwing anyone under the bus and also without dissolving my accountability, I've heard a lot of things that have been said that I apparently have said and done that are completely what others have said and done. I am so grateful I had Mihaela and Alicia, my friends that are not involved in this group, there at that beach house that weekend, because otherwise the things I've been hearing, I apparently said I'd be going mad. But they've assured me that it wasn't me saying these things and that it was the other people that were at that beach house. I've definitely been used here as a bit of a scapegoat, and honestly, I'm genuinely so okay with it. I only say that part if you've heard anything I've said or done, please take it with a grain of salt. Without being disrespectful, you know the people that we're dealing with here. Saying the other people that were at that beach house. They're very questionable people. Also, I do want to say it makes me so happy to hear that the reason you reached out is because you were upset at something you'd been told I had done or said. Because I thought the reason you hadn't reached out was because you didn't care, which really made me sad. Because although we both have flaws and I'm sure annoy each other, I do really love you. And again, I'm sorry that I put you in that position. 2 more things. I do want to reiterate, I'm genuinely really proud of how I handled this situation, and And I say that again so you know that I can promise you for the most part, I did not say anything about you in any way that was malicious or nasty. I'm trying my best to word this in a way that's showing you that mean things that were said mostly did not come from my mouth, but I'm trying to do so without eliminating the responsibility I need to take. Now, finally, lol, again, I want to say I'm really sorry, and my stomach dropped when I saw your message because I realized it meant I'd done something to hurt you, which I stupidly, genuinely did not even consider. I just thought you were avoiding me a little, lol. I love you very much. I love Jenny very much, and I will always hold you both very dear to my heart. I will always have a special place for you in my life and heart if you should choose to want to be a part of it. Love you, Anth. Okay? I think my message was really, really nice. And it was genuinely very honest. I meant everything I said in that. I am apologetic. I really am. When I sent that was last night, right after I received the message. The first thing I thought was, fuck, I've upset her. And I don't want to upset her. Ever, 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 ever. So that's why I apologized with pure and genuine apologies. I responded with pure and genuine apologies. Now that I've had a day to reflect on it, I stand on everything I said in that apology. I am so sorry. I'm sorry that I mentioned her in the podcast and used her name. I'm sorry that I've said something that's affected her and made her upset. All of that. However, I do want to go through it again, right? And I want to go through it really. And I'm hoping that she says, can we do something in person so that I can explain this to her in person? Because I obviously don't want her to watch this on the podcast, you know what I mean, and just hear this. But at the end of the day, so that's the first thing I'll actually address. Her saying she doesn't think it's fair that I put it on my podcast. So all I've spoken about on my podcast is experiences that have happened to me. I am sorry that I've used her name, and I will not use her name in the future, right? However, you cannot tell me that I'm not allowed to speak about my experience of something that a friend did to me on my podcast. I do not care if you're that friend. Like I said, I should use a different name, and I will use a different name in the future, like I did today. Her name's Felicity, right? You do not get to tell me that when you do something really negative towards me, that I don't get to share it, that I don't get to speak on my forum about it, right? That is not okay. That is suppressive behavior. That is abusive behavior, because that is saying, I can do stuff to you. You're allowed to be upset, but you can't talk about it. You cannot talk about it. And I don't care. Let's be real. I love Felicity. It's not that I spoke about it on the podcast. It's the fact that I have reiterated your poor behavior. You do not like that I have reiterated your poor behavior. Again, I love you so much. This is not me sitting here going, you are a horrible person. I don't want to be friends with you. However, I have realized recently that I'm allowed to be empathetic. I'm allowed to love you while still speaking my truth and speaking the objective truth, really. I mean, at the end of the day, you didn't come to the beach house. You did leave me high and dry. You did see your boyfriend that weekend. Do you know what I mean? Like, and I also just want to say quickly with regards to that, actually, I want to show you the message I responded to her when she said she couldn't make it, right? I had insinuated that I wanted to go for a walk so we could talk about it, right? So her saying that she would appreciate, she just wish I came to her instead of saying on the podcast, babe, at what point? Hang on, let me read it. Sorry, I'm kind of being messy now. I responded, hey cutie, that's so fun. It does make me sad because I always can't wait to make fun memories going away with you guys, but you've got to do what you've got to do. When she said she can't come, I said, well, we'll walk you soon, right? I feel like that was me insinuating I wanted to sit and talk to her about it, right, when we go for a walk. If you don't take it that way, that's fine. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I'm not saying I do things perfectly. I don't, right? But, yeah, for her to say, I just wish you'd come to me. At what point? The next day or like a few days later was when the fight happened and you didn't reach out to me once. So what opportunity did I have to talk to you about it? Also, I just want to say, right? So she said she didn't reach out because of the podcast. That was what she was mostly upset about. The podcast episode she's talking about was released 3 weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago. There was 7 weeks before then that she didn't reach out, that there was no podcast episode. 7 weeks. Okay? So again, I love you, Felicity, so much, but I don't buy it. You know, I buy that you were upset at me. I buy it. I buy that you were upset at that podcast. I buy it. I don't believe that was the reason you didn't reach out. I think you didn't reach out because you wanted to go with the cool crowd. I think you didn't reach out because there was a band of people hating on Anthony and you wanted to be a part of the band. I think you didn't reach out because I was consistently calling out everyone's behavior and you didn't like it and you thought, oh, we can villainize the person that calls me out for my bad behavior. That's what I think, okay? Because let me tell you something on this podcast. I have not shared 1/5, not 1/5, not 1/10, not 1/100th of the poor behavior that goes on within this group. I have not shared even 1/100th of it. Let me tell you something. I could break up a lot of relationships. I could break up a lot of friendships, and I wouldn't do that. I don't want to do that. I will never do that. But what I'm saying is I have been conservative with the information that I have shared. I've been very conservative and I've been very kind and empathetic. So I don't want to hear I'm such a bad person because I may have called people nasty on a podcast. At the end of the day, your behavior was nasty. You not reaching out was nasty. You know what I mean? Again, and I love you so much. This doesn't mean I hate you. This doesn't mean I think you're a bad person. This means that I am speaking the truth. I am speaking my truth. And it's crazy to me to think that in order for us to have a friendship, in order for us to get along, you need me to suppress that truth. Do you know what I mean? And look, this is the thing about this situation. Maybe I am the narcissist. Maybe I am the one that's making it all about myself. I don't know. I'm just here experiencing life as I am, trying not to let my ego get involved, trying not to be a bad person, right? Yes, I'm still in the moment. I'm still in the thick of it. I'm still in the heat of the anger. So I can't sit here and promise you that I'm not getting my ego involved. I can't sit here and promise you that I am the one that's in the right. However, I really genuinely feel like I am. I genuinely really feel like I have done so little, and that's why I'm like negatively, and that's why I am so proud of myself. I don't take me talking on my podcast to people that come and listen to me as me doing something as a negative, because at the end of the day, firstly, none of these people know who you are. That's the other thing too. Like, don't get me wrong, none of this is important to me. You know what I mean? These people, Jenny and Felicity, they're what's important to me. I don't care about this petty drama. I don't care. However, if there's going to be sides, you know, played, then I'm going to play my side. You know what I mean? I don't care about any of this. However, I do need to say my truth because oppression leads to depression. Everyone knows that. Apparently, this is the real tea, right? Me saying that I wouldn't be friends with her if it wasn't for work. Right? I remember when this conversation happened. I remember exactly how it happened. We were sitting in this car driving home from the beach house. Do you know what was happening? The person in this seat and the person in the back seat were talking about Felicity. Talking for about 30 minutes. She's this, she's that. We're making nasty comments for 30 minutes. 30 minutes. The only contribution I added to the conversation was, it just makes me sad because I know that she's the one that's missing out. I'm not sitting here thinking, I wish she was here so much because she's going to change the dynamic so much. I love her. I wish she was there. I did want her there. But she wasn't going to change. We still had fun. We were still going to have fun. The reason why I wish she was there was because I wanted her there to experience it with us. However, I said the only thing that makes me upset is because I don't know if we would be friends if it wasn't for the fact that we go to work and see each other every single day. I don't know if she would make the effort. Clearly these people, these nasty people, Jenny and Ali, have gone back to her and told her as if I've said, I don't think we're friends if it wasn't with work. That's what you do when you're guilty. That is what you do when you're guilty. I think Jenny and Ali know deep down that they are honestly, in this situation, disgusting. They have genuinely been foul. Again, do I care about Ali? Not at all. But do I care that Jenny has acted this way? No. I knew Jenny was like this. Ali knows Jenny is like this. Jenny knows Ali's like this. Felicity knows Ali is like this. Felicity knows Jenny is like this. We all know that those two are like this, right? We know this. We know this behavior comes out of them. I accept them nonetheless. I accept them for that, right? Because they were talking smack about Felicity the entire time. That was my only contribution. Is it disappointing that they've gone and taken my words and twisted it when they were talking smack the entire time? Yeah, it is. Do I hold it against them? No, I don't care. I honestly don't care that they've done that. Like, what am I going to do? These people are always going to do stuff like that. I'm not going to sit here and dwell on it. You know what I mean? That's why it's actually hard for me to think about all the things that I've done because they've done. I don't think about it. I genuinely don't. It's just, you know, obviously when stuff like this happens, you start going through your head again and thinking, oh, what's happened? What's this? You know what I mean? Again, this isn't me saying I don't want friendship. I would love to have a friendship with you, but not at the expense of the truth. That's a beautiful quote. Someone write that down. I would love to have a friendship and a relationship with you, but not at the expense of myself or the truth of the situation or me being able to express how you've treated me. So to end that situation, like I said, Jenny, I love you. Felicity, I love you, but my love does not mean that I'm going to ignore the problematic and the toxic behaviors that you display. Okay, that's just not what my love's going to mean anymore. I know previously I let you guys get away with it. I know previously I, swept it under the rug. It's not going to be like that anymore. And if you can't handle that, if you don't like that, that's fine. You don't have to be friends with me. That makes me sad that you won't want to be friends with me. That makes me sad that I won't have you in my life. But I can accept it. I can accept it knowing that you weren't happy to take the conditions of my friendship, because the truth of the matter is, I do have conditions. I do need to be able to, say how I feel. At the end of the day, you can say love's unconditional as much as you want. For me, it actually is unconditional in the sense that you're doing this stuff. I still love you. My love's unconditional, but I also need to be able to talk about it. You know what I mean? So, Jerry, right? We know Jerry. We love Jerry. Jerry's my very first ex, very first love, right? I don't know if I should talk about this, but I'm going to anyway. Jerry pops up in my dreams. I think I've spoken about this before. Jerry randomly pops up in my dreams. I don't think about Jerry until he pops up in my dreams. I do not think about Jerry. Sometimes it's once a week. Sometimes it's once every 5 months. Before I went to Fiji, 3 days before I went to Fiji, I had a dream about Jerry. Long story short, in this dream, I was walking down like a river, like a bridge over a river in the city with my mum, and then I turned down right. There was like a staircase, and I looked, and Jerry was standing down there. Went to Jerry, gave him a hug, had a conversation. I woke up that morning, a bit of a haze, went onto Jerry's Instagram profile. Mind you, I don't really look at his Instagram profile at all. I have Jerry muted because although I love him, I will always love him. I'll always have a space for him in my heart. I just don't think it's healthy for me to be seeing his lifestyle, especially considering the fact that he has a boyfriend. I can feel like it doesn't affect me as much as I want, but at some point it will affect me knowing that someone I loved, someone that I also am willing to love again, has a life without me, essentially, right? Or has a replacement of me, right? I went on his profile. I've seen that he's posted a new photo, a new dump with his boyfriend. I didn't see that the boyfriend was in it, but I just saw it. I just liked the photo. Mind you, I haven't liked any of his photos for maybe 2 years, maybe 3 years. And he hasn't liked mine either. I had him unfollowed for two years, so it's only the past maybe year and a half we've had each other on social media again, and I liked that photo. The next day I post a video and I see he's liked the video. Bit odd considering the fact that we don't like each other's stuff, and the moment after I do, he does. Does that seem flirty to you? I think it does. But in saying that, I don't want to break up a couple, so and they seem very happy, and Jerry's boyfriend is honestly very, very cute. Like, he seems very, very sweet and very, very cute. Obviously I don't know him, so obviously I don't want to break up a couple, but again, in the theme of being honest, this is the podcast is let's tell the truth. I think I know Jerry will always have something for me. I will always have something for Jerry. I don't particularly want Jerry, but I think I know that there's something still in store for Jerry and myself. I think Jerry and I still need to have some sort of closure. I think when we tried to achieve closure, I don't know if we achieved true closure. I think our egos were getting involved. I think Jerry and I, it's not the end of our story, regardless of what that looks like. I don't know. Is that we catch up and we chat through everything? I don't know. This was 5.5 years ago that we dated, so a long time ago. But I don't know. I just know that the energy's there. Is that we will date again? I don't know. I actually don't know. I can say that I don't particularly want it. What I want is a healthy relationship, a healthy, fun relationship for myself that makes me feel happy, that makes me feel the way Jerry did at some points, right? But yeah, I feel like I know that at some point Jerry and I will revisit things. Yeah, and I'm happy about that. I think I'm okay with that. I don't know. It's like, it is what it is, sort of thing. That's the other thing about the Jerry situation, right? So that's that. But then the thing is, I always have dreams about him. And they say that if you have dreams about people like this, it's because you're in their subconscious, right? And I believe that. I 100% believe that. I think Jerry will never, ever, 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 ever get over me until we properly address what's happened. And I won't with him, honestly. I mean, unless I find someone else, potentially. Right. You know what? Actually, I take that back. If I find someone else, I think I'll get over it because I think I've spent so much time trying to address it, right? Whereas Jerry, I don't think will, because I don't think he was ever honest with himself. If I'm being honest, it's all about honesty this episode. Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing. So then a couple weeks after that, maybe because that would have been about 3 weeks ago now, or 2.5 weeks ago. Then maybe a couple weeks after that, so a few days ago now, I had a dream about both Jerry and the boyfriend, and we were in a school and the boyfriend and him weren't interacting, and I wonder if that's symbolic of anything. I don't actually know, but we'll see. We'll see what the universe brings about. What was there? Oh, I got into road rage this morning. I'm honestly, again, I understand that these things aren't a big deal. Like I said, Fiji really gave me perspective. However, at the same time, I'm gonna fucking have a go if I want to have a go. I was driving and some guy comes out of the intersection without even looking at me. I have weight, right? Without even looking at me. I keep driving and I'm like, I'm not going to beat, I don't beat people on the roads. I just don't do it. I would rather avoid an accident than beat him, right? Motherfucker beeps at me. He beeps at me. He's come out. He beeps at me like I've done the wrong thing. So I stopped and I held down my horn and I went, you fucking dumb cunt. Who the fuck do you think you are? You have done the wrong things on the road, but you're going to go and sit there and insinuate I've done the wrong thing. I had right of way, you fucking idiot. I'm so sick of people, honestly. This is why I think Fiji was so beautiful and relaxing for me. I didn't see anyone. I literally just saw my friend and her family. And they were all lovely, you know what I mean? I think I just need to not have any friends. And I don't want to not have falling outs. I realized the other day that I'm sick of telling myself I don't want to experience life because it might be a negative experience or it mightn't be the best experience. No, I want to experience that. You know what I mean? I want to have fights with my friends. I want to have a breakup. I want to be sad, but I also want to be happy. I want to experience the best things ever. For example, Jenny, right? Jenny and I have some of the best memories ever. She will attest to that. Maybe she wouldn't. I don't know. She's an egotistical person sometimes. We've seen that. But I don't want to experience life like this. I want to experience life like this, and then like that, and then like that, and then like that, and then like that, and then, you know what I mean? That's how I want to experience life as a human, you know? We are energy, we are souls. However, we've been put here to have a human experience. I've not been put here to have an energetic or a soul experience. I've been put here to have a human experience, and that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to do. The only other person I've had a falling out with, Sally, still talks about me to this day. That was 4 years ago. Makes me very relevant in her conversation. It's fine. I still love her as well. If she wants to be in my life, the door will always be open for her as well. Sally, you know who you're talking about. We were in a group together. You know who you're talking about. My door will always be open to you. I love you so much as well. However, my love for you, this is the number one saying for this podcast, my love for you will never be at the expense of how I feel or the truth. It will never be at the expense of that. So if you don't like the truth or you don't like how you've made me feel, then we can't be friends, right? I want to just point out just quickly, my behavior needs correcting as well a lot of the time. I am absolutely aware of that. Look, I will list for you a lot of my flaws. I have expectations on my friends. That's something else I realized in Fiji. What the fuck am I doing? You know, expecting my friends to do things for me, no, that's not okay. You don't go into loving someone with expecting them to do things back. Don't get me wrong, there is something to be said for reciprocation. I shouldn't be doing things all the time for you with nothing in reciprocation. That's just not okay. However, I shouldn't be, say, buying you dinner thinking that you have to get me dinner next time. Look, I do think it's a courteous thing to do, but at the end of the day, if I'm going to do that for you, then I need to be aware that that is a gift from me. Unless we have some sort of agreement where I buy one, you buy one, I buy one, you buy one, I buy one, you buy one. If I don't want to pay for your dinner, I can say, just transfer me. Just transfer me. You know what I mean? I'm not going to sit here and put shit on people when I've not set up the environment for me to succeed. Does that make sense? Jeez, the one-liners today! What the fuck? Okay, that's that. I'm moving on to lovelier, happier, lighter things. I hope you guys are as well. If you've ever had any sort of, falling out or anything like that, just know that you're okay. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Anyway, love you very much for watching, you guys. I appreciate it if you made it to the end. You're a beautiful, sexy little lady, and or man, or they, them, either or. I do want to spread the message of love and positivity. I love everyone. It's just unfortunate that sometimes, again, I am having a human experience. There's going to be negative things that happen. I do want to talk about them. I don't want to pretend that my life is perfect. It's not perfect. But at the end of the day, love everyone, even the people that have done you wrong. It actually doesn't matter. They aren't doing you wrong because they want to do you wrong. They're doing you wrong because of the environment that set them up to do you wrong. Don't hate them. You've got so many beautiful experiences with these people. Try and find a place where you can just be so loving of them. I don't reflect on Jenny in a negative way at all. We were in Fiji and we heard a couple songs like Gangnam Style. That's Jenny's favorite song, and I was in laughter. I was in a fit. I was like, I just love her so much. I've been able to find that place through all this, and I'm so grateful for that, because again, she's just a fucking human. Of course she's gonna fuck things up. We all do. But yeah, love you guys. I really do appreciate the support. I wish there was a way I could support you back. I hope my videos do that in some sort of way, or this podcast does provide you with something in some sort of way, because yeah, I do wish I could give you guys back as much as I could. Love you. Thank you so much.